the Lord.
Amen.
Heavenly Father, I pray right now, Lord Jesus, that these lips which is made of clay, Lord Jesus, that they would decrease, Lord Jesus. That this whole vessel, Lord Jesus, will decrease, Lord Jesus, and you increase, Lord Jesus. And let your words, Lord Jesus, that you manifest through me, Lord Jesus, be acceptable in the eyesight of your people. And the church said, amen, and amen.
Amen.
Giving honor to God who's ahead of my life. I know it sounds like I'm going back down south again, but that's the way we started it off. Giving honor to God which is ahead of my life. Thank God I'm saved, sanctified, and I'm filled with the Holy Ghost. That's the way they started it off, you know. But it's good to be in the house of the Lord.
Amen.
Bishop, I thank you again for this opportunity. To the First Lady and all the other elders, pastors in the congregation. Thank you.
Amen.
I know everybody's getting ready to celebrate 4th of July tomorrow, but I like to do a little sidebar. This is not my sermon, but I like to do a little sidebar. Your liberation have nothing to do with the 4th of July.
That's it right there.
That's put on paper based on what man have done. Dealing with the liberation between, I think it was France, England, and the United States where they got their liberation. But our true liberation came by ways of Calvary, where they put our Lord and Savior on the cross. That's where our true liberation came in. And to put the seal on it, to justify it, is when he got up. If he didn't get up, then we wouldn't have had nothing to ride on. But because Christ Jesus got up, it justifies. It puts everything in place. That's where your true liberation came from. That's where the fireworks came from. As a matter of fact, they said when Jesus got up, they said the dead in Christ also got up. Many were seen and everything. That was thunder and lightning that came on the earth. You have never ever seen any fireworks like it was on that day. Hallelujah. The one writer said the sun refused to shine because so how can two suns shine at the same time? One of them dropped on the backside and the other one came forward. He said, this is my son whom I'm well pleased. So that's where your liberation came from. That's where your 4th of July, that's where your freedom came from. And it's not on paper, but it's written in blood. All right. Let us go to 2 Corinthians.
Wow.
12.
Go ahead, preacher. Praise God. Bless you.
That's just a sidebar there. That's what the lawyers and judges do at times. Every now and then you get let's get a sidebar. Get a sidebar. Let's go to 2 Corinthians 7 and 10. 7 through 10. Can I get someone to read that, please?
12.
Chapter 12, verse 7 through 10.
Unless I should be exalted above measure through the abundance of the revelations, there was given to me a thorn in the flesh, the messenger of Satan to buffet me, lest I should be exalted above measure. For this thing I besought the Lord thrice, that it might depart from me. And he said unto me, my grace is sufficient for thee. For my strength is made perfect in weakness. Most gladly, therefore, will I rather glory in my infirmities, that the power of Christ may rest upon me. Therefore, I take pleasure in infirmities, in reproaches, in necessities, in persecutions, in distresses for Christ's sake. For when I am weak, then am I strong. Amen.
I forgot to mention my wife and my kids, so I'm going to go ahead and put that out there. I thank my daughter, my son, our friend Kevin, and my Miss America for being here. Miss America. She may not be in everybody else's pageant, but she is my pageant. She's mine, Miss America. Come on, all right. Dealing with this thing concerning Paul. He talks about this thorn in his flesh. In other words, he said Satan had something to do with this here. You know, within our Christian walk, sometimes we can get a little besides ourselves, as they say. or we can come to a point where our pride gets in the way of some of the things that we should be doing, and we think it's all about me.
That's right.
Or we get to a point where sometimes we might get a little self-righteousness in the way, and God have a way of pulling us back. No. We don't do it this way, because see, Paul had this thorn in his side. That's what he talks about. If you go over there to Numbers, and Numbers talks about a thorn. In other words, when he told Moses to speak to the Israelite and tell them, when you cross Jericho, when you get to the other side, you need to make sure you kill off all the Canaanites. You can't leave none of them standing around, because if you do, they're going to be like pinks in your eyes and thorns in your side. You ever had a situation where you know you should have taken care of, and if you didn't take care of, it'll sooner or later get bigger and bigger, and you say to yourself, man, I know I should have did that long time ago. But here it was a thorn in Paul's side. Regardless of how well we preach, how well we teach, we're not above, I want to say a word is self-pride. If you don't watch yourself and some of the things you do, your pride will get the best of you.
That's right. That's right.
So you have to put a halt or some type of counter on your pride before it mess around and get he think he got all that. He walks with his head all up and everything. He think he can do that and everything. Sometimes with all the gifts that you got, you have to be careful with your gifts and make sure you use them properly, and make sure that you consult the Lord in your gifts.
That's right.
So that you won't be overabundance and thinking you all this. And this is what's going on with Paul here and all. He said, well, Paul, he know that he's done some great things. But God allowed Satan to come in and put a thorn in his side. He called it some type of buffer in his side to hold him back. They don't say exactly what type of disability or what type of handicap this might be, but it hindered Paul to a certain point that he consulted the Lord concerning it.
That's right.
So the Bible say 3 times
That's right.
did I consult the Lord about this here. He went to God on 3 times. First time, look, these are on separate occasion here. He went to God the first time, I would say, with his application through supplication, pleading to God, Lord God, would you please remove this thorn from my side? Would you please remove this illness that sort of hinders me from doing your work? But there was no answer. You've been to the Lord several times. Paul went to the throne of grace and he was asking the Lord, I'm not going to be before you too long now. He was asking the Lord on the second time. He went before the throne of grace. He said, God, is it possible, in other words, can you remove this thorn? He put his application in. He prayed. He fasted. He knew. Is it possible? And again, the second time, there was no answer. There was no answer. You've been before God on several times and seem like the heavens are just closed and there is no answer coming from God. But you look, God, I need to get a prayer through. The Bible said Paul went to God the 3rd time through fasting and supplication. Look, Paul himself knew without a doubt that he could get a prayer through. There was no doubt Paul knew that he could get a prayer through. Why? Paul had written about 13 books of the New Testament. He could speak several of language. He had no problem communicating with God. Paul had great revelation. God spoke to Paul. He told him certain mysteries of the Bible. He was able to write things that nobody else could write. His interpretation was real great.
That's right. That's right.
So Paul going to God on this 3rd time, if any vessel on earth, because all the prophets went on, but if any vessel on earth can get a prayer through, it should be Paul. So Paul goes through him to him with all of his credentials before him, and he asks him one more time. As in Jesus said, is it possible that this cup could pass over? And on the 3rd time, Paul gets an answer. And God replied, My grace.
Yeah.
My grace
My grace
is sufficient.
is sufficient.
What's sufficient? In other words, my grace is enough.
Yeah.
My grace fills me. My grace completes me.
Yeah.
Unfavored merit is what Paul received from the grace. Jesus is still at the well. Jesus is still at the well, and he's still passing out drinks. He's passing out drinks of salvation from the well of salvation. In other words, if you want a drink from the well, you can come by the well. God is still in the blessing business. But he said, my grace is sufficient. You ever had a situation, Pastor Sam, where it didn't seem like your prayers were getting through?
All right, man.
And the answer that he gave you, it wasn't the one that you really wanted to hear. And he said, my grace is sufficient. What I'm giving you out here, it's going to keep you. It's going to sustain you. It's going to take you into your marriage. You're going to be all right. What I have given you, Paul, is going to keep you right where you need to be. Because, see, Paul having all these potentials. He speaks of, in a verse higher, he talks about, he said, he had went to the third heaven. Now, how is it so that you can go to the third heaven, Paul? But that's what Paul said. He said he don't know. It was about 14 years, when he was about 14 years ago, and he left this body, and he went into the third heaven. And he said he don't know if he was in this body or his spirit went forward. He don't know. But Paul has. He said, but it don't seem like it's possible that God don't hear me.
That's right. Wow.
You ever been in those situations? I need an answer for right now. And his reply was, my grace. My grace is sufficient. Let me make sure I'm staying in my notes here. My grace is sufficient. What does the next verse come out when he said my grace is sufficient? He said, for my strength is made perfect in weakness. Okay, now see, this term here would mess Webster up. It would really mess Webster up. For my strength is made perfect in weakness. Webster would put it the other way around. When I'm using my strength, after I've used all my strength, I'm probably weak. But this sort of messes Webster up. He said, my strength is made perfect in weakness. When any teacher stand before you and begin to preach, when any preacher stand before you and begin to preach, or when you begin to witness to one, you need to pray that God give you the revelation of what to tell the people. You need to make sure God is in the message, y'all. You need to make sure that you, in other words, when we start to preach, we say, I pray that I decrease. While the Spirit of God in me, indwell me, and he increase. For the manifestation of his word will go out to the people. And the church itself will be edified. And not the one speaking the message himself. I pray that I decrease while God's presence in me has glorified me, where I can tell the people to edify the body, the church, and not myself.
Hallelujah.
So where he said his strength is made perfect in weakness. His strength is made perfect in weakness. I'll tell you a little story about a situation about a little boy. It's where he said his strength is made perfect in weakness. They said it was a little boy he was a little dyslexic. Had a little problem running and everything, but however, he was on the baseball team. So they just let him play just because he wanted to play. He had a heart to play. But this day, Deacon Dooley, he was up for bat. The little boy came up to bat, Pastor Sam, and when he stood up there, all dyslexic, the crowd, they just sat there. They just don't entertain him. But when he stood up there, Pastor Sam, the guy threw the ball lightly, and the little boy hit it. He hit it so hard that they weren't expecting it. The ball went on out farther in the field. The little boy at a slope, like he ran to first base. He made it over to the second. By that time, they threw the ball to the second base, and he missed it. And when he missed it, by this time, you should have seen the crowd where his strength was made.
All right now.
You follow me? Within his weakness, God glorified that little boy. He glorified that little boy. And that little boy began to run. And even the team that they was playing against, God got into them. And the whole crowd was standing up. And they was proud running for that little boy, saying, run, run. And you was able to see God's strength being made perfect in the eyes of the believers. And they looked and they said, well, how could this be? But the little boy, he kept on running, Pastor Sam. He made it all the way in home. And when he made it in home, look, the whole crowd was happy and they was rejoiced. But one saw the glory of God. The other one seen God's strength in weakness made strong. And what is that? I can do all things through Christ who strengthened me. His strength. Oh man, you should have seen the joy on the little boy's face. Look, somebody said it couldn't have been done, but they just had him hanging around the place just as a mascot. But when he hit the ball, God showed up, and the little boy and his strength, God's strength, he knocked the ball all the way outfield, and when he knocked it out there, he began to run. Look, we might have a few mascots in the church. Sometimes people don't think other people can do things, but through God, his strength is made perfect. Through God, you gotta put your trust in him. You cannot put your trust in your own self. But when you begin to put your trust in God, look, Lord God, I pray that I decrease while your word in me, what I read, what I do, what I see, what I walk, what I put my hands, that you increase in all the things I do. Not my will, but your will be done. Not my way, but your way be done. Sometimes it don't feel good. Sometimes it don't look good. But as Jesus said, nevertheless, sometimes that cup is a bitter cup. Sometimes we don't feel like doing it. But if we just lean back and say, God, I can't do this. But through all things, I know you in me. You're more than a conqueror. You are more than a conqueror. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I mean, not Jehovah Witness, not the president. Oh my God. But through Christ Jesus, I can do all things. All things. All things. Oh, I'm telling you right now, Jesus is still sitting at the well. He's still sitting at the well. He's giving out drinks of salvation. I believe it was the lady came to Jesus and she asked Jesus, Jesus asked her for a drink. Look at here. Look at here. And the woman replied, you know we don't have no dealing with you all. But Jesus, let me cut it short, but Jesus asked her, she told her, he said, if you don't ask me for a drink, if you don't ask me for a drink, he said, I would have given you a drink. I would have given you a drink. Like the scripture says, oh my God, he said, it is written, out of your belly will flow rivers of living waters. Jesus is still sitting at the well. He's still sitting at the well giving out drinks of salvation. If you want a drink, if you want a drink, if you want a drink, if you want your cup filled, go by the well of salvation. He's still giving out drinks. Oh my God. Look, every now and then, we have some buffers. We have something that hinders us from where we want to go in Christ. Oh, there was a man by the name of blind Bartimaeus. I heard he was sitting there. He couldn't see. And he cried out. Jesus, thou son of David, have mercy on me. Jesus, thou son of David, have mercy on me. He cried out so loud. I have to say him sometime. We gotta get an ear for God. Sometimes we gotta petition for God. We gotta get in his face. He cried out, Jesus, have mercy on me. Thou son of David. Oh, Jesus was trying to do something else, but he kept on hollering, Jesus, Jesus. He started the disturbance in the crowd. Jesus, Jesus, have mercy on me. Ooh, ain't nobody paying no attention to me. Everybody trying to go home and do what they want to do. But he cried out, Jesus. on through the crowd. And by the time she got to Jesus, she probably couldn't see him as clearly. But she bent down and she just taught his cloak. Oh my God, my God. Jesus said, wait a minute. Let's stop everything. He said, somebody touch me. Somebody touch me. Oh, wait a minute, Jesus. He said, all these people standing around you. Still that somebody touch me. He said, oh no. He said, I know when strength done left my body. Somebody touch me. Oh my God. Jesus is still at the well. He's still passing out drinks of salvation. If you want a drink from the well, go visit him. If you want prayer, go see the doctor. If you want deliverance, go see the doctor. If you want your cup filled, go see the doctor. Oh my God. He's still there. He's still there. Oh, somebody knows another healer. Somebody knows another deliverer. I know that my Lord and Savior. I know that my tomorrow. I know that my hope. Oh my God. Look at Jesus. Look at Jesus. Look at Jesus. My joy and sorrow. My Lord. My God. Woo. I always write down notes. But I let God have his way. I let God have his way. Let God have his way.
Hallelujah.
As I close, I'm going to open the altar up. Paul went to the throne of grace 3 times. If you've been here before and you didn't get an answer, if you've been here before and the results of what he gave you wasn't what you wanted to hear, you can come back again. The doors of the church is open. If you want to come up here for prayer, you can. If you want, in other words, if you're not saved and you want to give your life back to Christ, you can come forward now. I'm going to ask the elders if they would just come stand across the front if they would. If anyone wants prayer, I ask you to come forward now.
Hallelujah.
There is a cup that Jesus don't mind filling.
Yeah.
But first you got to empty your cup.
Yeah.
You got to empty your cup.
Hallelujah.
He don't mind pouring into your cup. But sometimes within the midst of what we're going through, we have thorns. We have things in our life that come to actually try to control us, to hinder us from some of the things in the direction we want to go. But I say to you, if you just come forward right now, we're going to pray that the shackles be lifted off of you. We're going to pray that that cup be removed. We're going to pray that God's will be done. We're going to pray that God's will be done.
Hallelujah. Thank you, Lord.
There is no sin so great that God can't bring you out of. There is hope in Christ Jesus.
Hallelujah. Thank you, Lord.
We serve a mighty God. We serve a good God.
Thank you, Lord.
Thank you, Jesus.
Thank you, Jesus.
He's worthy.